So this drawing is of Mabel from Gravity Falls, Season 2, Episode 11. I really like that episode and this scene especially, and I don't usually draw backgrounds, but I'm really proud of how this galaxy turned out. And this drawing took me 4 hours. When I draw on my iPad, I spend most of my time coloring, and I typically start off with base colors, and then I add shading and highlights, and then I add more details. And for me, the details are what really bring everything together. And this drawing took me 2 hours. I'd say about 80% of my drawings are based on something I'm interested in, so like a TV show, a video game, or a book series. And I'd been really into the game Sally Face, so I drew Sal, and this took me about 3 hours. These next 2 drawings are of Tyler Joseph, the lead singer of 21 Pilots, and I used a really basic flat brush and a lot of blurring, like an insane amount of blurring. And it was a new process, to me at least a newer process that I hadn't done before, so the drawing took me 6 hours. And I really like the way the highlights turned out on this drawing, and this drawing took me 4 hours. This is Josh Dunn, the drummer for 21 Pilots, and this is a pretty old picture I found on his Instagram, and this took me about 2 hours. This next drawing is of Bee from the show Bee and Puppy Cat, and if you haven't seen that show, I really recommend it. It's super cute, and I don't usually draw like this cartoony style, but it was super fun to try and replicate it, I guess, and this took me 2 hours. This drawing was originally supposed to be brown, but once I changed the color palette to the super bright purple, I think the drawing really came to life, and I think all the little details also brought it to life, and this took me close to 2 hours. I drew this recently after ordering 2 moss balls, and then I somehow ended up with 10 moss balls, but it's okay because they're super cool. And Marimo moss balls are like a living plant. A lot of people don't think they're living, but they are, and they're not actually moss, they're actually algae. And this drawing took me just a quick 40 minutes. I used a technique called color picking for this drawing, which is something I'd never done before, so it took me a little bit to get used to, but it was super fun, and this drawing took me 2 hours. I always use Procreate when I draw digitally, but I've recently been trying out Ibis Paint because I have it on my phone, and I almost always have my phone, whereas I don't always have my iPad. So I made this drawing on my phone with one of those like stupid stylus you get from like the dentist or something like that, and it was super fun, and I used Pinterest to find my reference, which I almost always do. And that character is Nathan Prescott from the game Life is Strange. These next drawings are of my sister's dog. She had asked me to design a tattoo for her, which I had to use a very different process than what I usually do, and I made the line art very precise. Also, I don't know how to track how long it takes me to draw something on Ibis Paint. I don't even know if you can, but if you know how to do that, please let me know in the comments.